But security cameras captured Jelani's last known whereabouts on the 24th. There were 2 separate sightings of him that day. At 7:20, Jelani was spotted on camera at the Bone Student Center on campus. He was last seen wearing a blue button-up collared shirt, black pants, black belt, black dress shoes, and a blue mask. It was during COVID.
Right.
And this is like a normal outfit for him for during school. Then the next sighting is 9/12. Security cameras at the Beyond/Hello dispensary on Veterans Parkway and General Electric Road in Bloomington showed Jelani walking into the store. This is footage that has been released. A lot of people have seen this. And there's been a lot of talk about him looking up into the camera. Do you believe he was looking into the camera so that he could be let into the store? Like this was a protocol for the dispensary?
Yeah, that's what I believe. When I looked at that camera, when I looked at that picture and I seen Jelani walk, I seen him walk into the building. I seen him stand there and pull out his ID to show them. I didn't see anything that made me think like he was scared or something was wrong with him.
Deeply troubled about something.
I didn't see that with him in that picture or when I actually seen the actual video. I don't see anything that would alert me to think like, okay, something is wrong. What I didn't see the video of him in the store buying anything, but I was able to see the video of him walking out.
In and out.
In and out.
Yeah. And this time he's in a completely different outfit.
He's went home and changed his clothes. So what that tells me is that something. So what my conclusion was, because I seen on the video that Jelani walking around campus. When I find out that Jelani is missing some information about his TB test, that's what he is supposed to have for care. That's part of the program that he needed to have done to start his clinicals and all that kind of stuff. He had to have his TB test done. Jelani, I come to find out that he had made the appointment because he had one part of it done in Champaign because he was on my insurance. So I was able to look and see that he had done that. I was able to also see that he had made an appointment to go get that second part done. So what I was assuming was that when he was on campus that morning and he was at that front desk, he was probably inquiring about that medical office because that's where he ended up going to the medical office. And at the medical office, you could see him at the front desk asking something. I don't know what he asked him, but I'm assuming he asked maybe if he could take care of it that day there because he knew he didn't take care of his business on time. And he had his clinicals that day. They must have told him no because I'm figuring that he left, went home and changed his clothes and was going to go to Champaign to the appointment that was scheduled for him to do the second part of the TB test.
Yeah,
thing.
that makes sense. Yeah.
So that's what made sense to me of him changing his clothes because I kept thinking, what made him change his clothes? Because he knew he was excited about this clinicals. He kept telling me, Mom, I got clinicals. I'm going to see my first patient and all this kind of stuff. And the only thing that would deter him was that if something occurred, something happened, something happened. So until I know different, this is just me assuming that I know that that's my correct answer about what he was doing. I'm not 100% certain. I'm just going back because I've retracted this a million times in my mind. And that's the part that makes sense to me. Now, the part that what doesn't make sense to me is that he gets back in his car to leave that dispensary and he disappears. When I was able to see the video of the car, when Jelani gets in the car, when you start up a car, you can tell if you're starting it up because you know what the back lights look like when you start, that they flick on, right?
Yep.
In this instance, Jelani got in the car and you see the brake lights come on, which indicate you have to put the brake lights on to put the car in reverse, right? You're not starting it up. They didn't blink. They stayed on for a second because it indicates that you're putting the car in reverse because that you see the lights come on. You see the car move back. The car was on. I didn't see him start up the car. You can tell when you're starting up the car because of how the lights come on when you start them up.
Did his car have remote start?
No, he didn't have a remote start.
He didn't have a remote start.
No, he didn't have a remote start on that car.
And
so
you know.
when when I see the car leaving out of the parking lot of the dispensary, I had them rewind that tape for me a couple of times because I see a shape in the back of that car. They told me there was a shadow or it was the back of the headrest.
Right.
I have a Chrysler 300 as well. Mine is a 17. So I went outside that day and I looked at the back of my car. And sure enough, that you can see the headrest. I go back in there again and rewind that video. You see the headrest, but there is a shape.
Beyond the headrest.
Beyond the headrest. And I tell them, there's somebody in that car. I'm like, Save, look, it's somebody in the car. And Save's looking with me. Zaina was looking. Zaina was there with us.
You are there.
Yeah. All of us are there. You know, we're looking. And Todd McCloskey, the detective from Bloomington, he said, Carmen, no, that's a shadow. I'm like, but Jelani's windows are tinted. He said that they looked at it. They don't think that there was anybody in there. And plus it's on the passenger side where I'm saying I see this shape of the head, right? And he's like, well, that doesn't make sense because why wouldn't they be behind him? I was like, I don't know. You tell me why they wouldn't be behind him. Now, this is in February of 2022 when I see this video. It was on February the 14th of 2022 when they show us this video. Well, I might have the date wrong, but it was in February. It wasn't until August of 2022 when I actually see Jelani's car for myself with my own two eyes. And it makes sense to me why I know that I wasn't seeing things and why if there was someone in the car when I say it's on the passenger side, why it makes sense. Because when I got to that police station and I see his car, the same suitcase that was in his car the night they pulled up the car from the hill.
This is when you actually saw the physical car, not just
when I didn't see a picture. I physically saw the car.
Right. Suitcase still
The
inside.
suitcase is still right there behind the driver's side, which would make sense why I see somebody on the passenger side because that's where that suitcase was at.
Right.
The suitcase is still there. So when they told me they processed the car, in my mind, you've taken out everything out the car. There shouldn't be no suitcase in the car anymore.
And this was very recently.
Yeah, I saw the car, physically saw the car in August of 22.
Mm-hmm.
In August of 22. When I saw the car, which is supposed to be a major piece of evidence, Jelani, Sarah, the police chief from Peru, Illinois, had called me a day prior because this is like on August 18th. I was in Peru. I was doing they were doing a follow-up with the news station because it was going to be a year since Jelani had went missing. And Sarah had called me the day before and asked me, did I want the car back? And I was like, yeah, if you're going to give it back to me, but you don't need it. She was like, no, we don't have the room. And we figured that we give it back to you because we got what we needed out of the car.